From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is a special news blast for our YouTube channel. On April 21st, 2025, LGBTQ Nation is reporting that in a race among southern states who can wear Christian nationalism and white supremacy on their sleeve the best, Alabama refuses to be outdone by Louisiana. Although the GOP members of the Alabama House must have left their Klan robes at the dry cleaners, LGBTQ Nation is still reporting that the Alabama State House of Representatives passed several anti-LGBTQ plus bills this past Thursday. The bills include an expansion of the state's Don't Say Gay law, a ban on drag performances, a ban on pride flags, and a ban on school employees calling trans students by the correct pronouns. One of the bills would require that the Ten Commandments be posted in every school in the state. HB 244 extends the state's ban on discussing LGBTQ plus people in schools, which currently only applies to grades K through 5, to all grade levels. It also bans school employees from displaying flags or insignia relating to sexual orientation or gender identity, which would include pride flags. It also bans school employees from referring to a student with pronouns or a title that is inconsistent with the student's biological sex at birth. State Representative Mark Gidley said that the bill was necessary because an unnamed student told him that they have a teacher who can't teach without mentioning all things gay and transgender. Gidley didn't say what school this happened in. State Representative Neil Rafferty, the only out gay person in the chamber, said that LGBTQ plus people are not the problem. I want you to know you are not the problem. You are not broken, and you are absolutely not alone, he said. They're not theories. They're not talking points, not threats to be neutralized. They're people. They're Alabamian. And they deserve better than what we are offering them right now. State Representative Philip Ensler said that the bill will make kids feel unwelcome in schools. If they don't trust a teacher, if they think a teacher doesn't like them or use them differently or views them as unequal, they're not going to be as open to learning, he said. The bill passed with 76 votes in favor and 9 against. House Bill 67 bans public schools and libraries from hosting drag performances in the presence of minors without parental consent, and also says that trans people must use a restroom associated with their sex assigned at birth in places where minors might also use the restroom. It also passed 76-9. This bill is an attempt to censor LGBTQ experiences from the public and is contradictory to our First Amendment rights. The ACLU of Alabama said in a statement, supporters of this bill argue that drag performances are not appropriate for minors. That's a decision for that minor's parents, caregivers, and family to make, not the state of Alabama. On the same day, the chamber passed HB 178, a bill that would require all public schools in the state, both K through 12 schools, as well as colleges and universities, to display the Ten Commandments in a common area. The bill doesn't give schools funding for this and instead suggests they seek donations. Way to go. So you in the state of Alabama force schools to do something that is so contradictory to the U.S. Constitution, and you do it while forcing the school districts to figure out how they're going to pay for it. That's brilliant. No, not really. Seek donations. In a statement, the ACLU of Alabama said the First Amendment guarantees that students and their families, not politicians or the government, get to decide which religious beliefs, if any, they adopt and what role those beliefs will play in their lives. Displaying the Ten Commandments in public school classrooms blatantly violates this promise. Students can't focus on learning if they don't feel safe and welcome in their schools. The bill, sponsored by, you guessed it, Representative Mark Gidley, also requires schools to display a statement near the Ten Commandments that says they are a key part of the Judeo-Christian religious and moral tradition that shaped Western civilization and ultimately the founding of the United States. You know, part of the Bible includes slavery, and, well, slaves helped build most of the United States up through the Louisiana Purchase. So Representative Gidley, at what point will there be a recognition of Black History Month and the slavery that's embedded within your religious text, not to mention the history of Alabama, of which you seem to be really, really proud? Representative Gidley, newsflash, this is 2025, not 1865, okay? Your side lost. Get over it. Democrats called the bill a distraction. We're focusing on issues that really don't put more money in the pockets of everyday Alabamians, said the House Minority Leader Anthony Daniels. It does not reduce the cost of gas at the pump. We're talking about solving problems for the average well, someone from Alabama. This particular issue does nothing. One Democrat pointed out that the Ten Commandments aren't age appropriate for younger children. I think that the Ten Commandments have their place, but I don't know that we need to mandate that they be in our schools, said State Representative Marilyn Lands, the Alabama Reflector reports. I think we teach our children well in our homes, and I think we have churches to teach them, but I'm not sure they belong in our schools. Here's a hint, Marilyn Lands, they don't, okay? Plain and simple, they don't. You want to keep them in a little book on a library shelf? Go right ahead. But by publicly displaying them, you're essentially telling anyone who doesn't believe in your version of Judeo-Christianity is obviously not welcome in a public school. And that bill passed the State House 88-11. All three of those bills are now bundled up and going onward to the state Senate. Now, you see, why do I bring all those up and mention Louisiana earlier? Well, Louisiana passed a similar bill regarding the Ten Commandments last year, requiring them to be displayed in every classroom in the state. And then a federal judge blocked the bill from taking effect, saying it was unconstitutional on its face. That's our news blast. For more music and educational programs, check out PEP Radio on the Live 365 app and on the Pennsylvania Equality Project website's homepage, paequality.com. We'll be posting more news blasts Monday through Friday here on YouTube, so be sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.